Welcome to Optimistic Opportunities. I am so excited today to bring you our guest, Cynthia Gadol. She is the founder and executive director at Excelsior Classical Academy. And I had the privilege of meeting her when she was launching the school, and I attended one of her talks out in RTP, and I think that was 5 years ago.
5 or 6, yeah, five,
5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, I guess it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. And so our daughter actually goes to Excelsior Classical Academy. She's been there since third grade. She's now in eighth grade, and just started school today. So a very low stress day for the founder and executive director of the school, Cynthia. Thank you so very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
My pleasure.
So the reason I wanted Cynthia to come and speak with us today is because she just has this natural relaxation and flow and sincerity that just beams in a positive way from her. And when I met her speaking, she very graciously says, "No, I'm not a very good public speaker." And the minute she said that, I was like, she's got me. I love it. She's so honest, and everything that came out of her mouth was just so eloquent and wonderful. So I'm just so honored for our daughter to first go to your school. Gosh, I got teary-eyed. Woo! And to go to your school because it's made such a huge difference in our child's life. So thank you very much for that. And
Thank you.
woo! I'll pull it together here. Wow, didn't know that was coming. So thank you so much for joining us today, Cynthia.
Well, I'm glad to do it, sort of.
I know it's your comfort zone. One of my favorite questions is, and the reason I want to ask you this question is because at your school, Excelsior Classical Academy, it's in North Durham, behind the Roses Shopping Center on North Roxborough Road. I'm so excited that our daughter has the honor to go to the school because you teach respect, you teach community, along with all of the other subjects. And this is not, to talk about your school and, talk about what happens there. It's more, about our view and our take on how we're doing things to, help ourselves and help others. But so that's one of the reasons I wanted to ask you this question first is, how can this experience make a positive impact on your life and others?
Okay. Yeah, it is really important to me and in our school too, that we all treat everybody with kindness and respect. And so I think when everyone is so tense and so scared and going through so many problems and struggles in a time like this, and it's not just the virus, it's also the racial unrest and everything. It really affects everyone. It hurts. And so people are on edge, people are scared. And so I think it's especially important in a time like this to treat people with kindness and respect. And just remember that you don't know what they're going through. They might be going through some really hard things. A lot of people are these days. And so you have to show them some grace. I heard about an incident yesterday where somebody got very mad at someone else in traffic and actually followed the person. And fortunately, the person was able to treat them gently and kindly and respectfully. And the person who was upset said, "Why are you being so nice to me?" And it decompressed the situation immediately. And so, that's how we ought to treat each other. When I'm stressed out or feeling grouchy or whatever, I would like people to treat me kindly, and it makes a difference in how you feel. Also, I've noticed that when I am more inclined to assume good intentions on the part of someone else and just give them grace. And it helps my attitude as well. I mean, it helps me feel better. It keeps me from spiraling downward, and it also helps the other person. So that's partly why I do it.
Reminds me of a story that um, a neighborhood story of mine. When I was out in the front yard pulling some weeds and doing some gardening, another neighbor was walking by and purposely walked across the street, so he wouldn't be walking by. And he had unfortunately had a confrontation with me, which um, which was unfortunate, but it was interesting because he was just really angry and sort of yelling at me from across the street and stuff. And I was like, I didn't really do anything and you're really upset. And I stopped what I was doing and I started walking across the street with my arms open. And I put my arms around him and held him and hugged him. And I said, look, I love you and I love all of my neighbors. I said, I just want to get along with everybody. And he just it totally just diffused him, like you just said. So it's, I think, taking that initiative and that high road to really get out of your comfort zone. And I don't know why I did that day. It just came to me, and but made a big difference in his life. But to this day, we're very well connected now.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. How are you continuing to grow your relationships at this time? We're all stuck at home. We're all Zooming with each other. We may or may not be going out much. I don't know. Everybody has a different take on that. But how are you staying connected to others?
Yeah, well, a few months back, I had never even heard of Zoom. I've been doing many Zoom meetings since March. But I've always thought of myself, and I think I am an introvert, and it has the idea of, oh, well, I like being alone. I like to read. I like to, paint, draw, garden, things by myself. That's still true, but through all this, I have realized how much I really do need to be around people, or at least talk to them, on the phone or do Zoom meetings or whatever. I've been a little surprised at how much that's important to me. And I've always known that I'm not like a people hater who wants to be away from everybody. It does exhaust me a little bit to be around people too much. But part of that is just, when you're interacting with people a lot, it requires focus and energy, and you want to pay attention to them closely. And so I think that's why it takes the energy out of me and I need the time to recoup. But this has let me know how important it is to me to connect with people and talk with them and share our lives. We need to do that. Even introverts need to do that. So that's been something I learned, I think.
Yes, this is a particular interesting question for me personally, because I've sort of reached a plateau at this time. I mean, gosh, it's March, April, May, June, July. It's 5 months. And I get energy from other people, but then also energy is sucked out of me from other people. And before we started, Cynthia, you were asking me, well, you're a high energetic person and go-getter kind of person or something. I can't remember the words you used. I was like, yes, I am. But I get home, it's like the switch is turned off. Yeah. But so the energy's here and then it's here. But the reason I say that is I'm trying to figure out, some new ways to, connect with people. Mm-hmm. Other than just through Zoom. Early on, met some people in a parking lot of a restaurant. We all ordered takeout and we sat in our, beach chairs in the parking lot eating together, and just sort of trying to think of different ways to stay connected with the people I know.
Yeah, it definitely takes creativity and planning, which maybe before it did not require so much. So that's been another interesting aspect of all this is how can we make it better? It's a bad situation. How can we make it better? We have to think about that a lot.
Anything that's been surprising about this time for you?
Well, I guess finding out how important it was to me to be with other people. But also, I think just I've been surprised at how people have reacted to this. I always think of our school community because I am so wrapped up in the school. But it has surprised me to some degree how much of a community we actually had and how important that was to the people in the community and how much they are working to maintain that even under these circumstances. And I've been very impressed with our parent teacher forum for some of the ideas they're coming up with, just to keep everybody connected. And I've been impressed with the teachers for reaching out and checking on kids and checking on families, and our counselors and our administrators. Just we care so much about the people in the school community. And I don't, maybe that shouldn't have surprised me, but it just, how strong it was, I think, is what surprised me.
That was one of the things that really impressed me so much, with your talk back in RTP like 5-6 years ago, whenever it was. And, you talking about respect and you talking about community and how you want to build that, and how that's so important to you and your school, and how important that is today.
Mm-hmm.
in the world that we live in and the challenges that we have, is it's kind of boils down to the common denominator of respect, building community.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing that?
Yeah.
But thank you for leading us in that way.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, it's not just me. We have a whole team that is very like-minded in that, and that I love too. That everybody cares so much about being that way. That's what we want our school to be known for.
Definitely. Well, it sure is. How are you staying motivated?
No, that's easy. When you have, let's see, we have 840 something kids. And
oh my goodness. Wow.
Twice as many parents, well, maybe not twice as many because some of those are siblings, but a lot of parents, a lot of teachers, a lot of people that work at the school, all needing me in a way or something, from me. And that's pretty motivating,
Hey.
It makes me realize I've got to keep going. I've got to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, although in my 65 years, I've learned nothing is ever perfect. And if you try for that all the time, you're just going to beat yourself up all the time. But I am a perfectionist to some degree. And so I want to do things well. Not always possible when you have so many things to do, but just wanting to do well is motivating too. So, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for that. So thank you so very much for taking time out of your very busy first day of school today. And be sure to tune in next week for Optimistic Opportunities at 1:00 right here on Facebook Live. And our guest will be Jada. And I'm just going to call her one name, Jada, like Prince. And she is the past operations manager of my boutique marketing company. We work together at the Herald Sun. We work together at the AICPA. She is absolutely a joy. We were on the fun group at the Herald Sun. But be sure to tune in with her and meet Jada and hear what she has to say. And Cynthia, thank you so very much for your words of wisdom today and your leadership and your
Thank you for having
insight.
me.
Great job for that. Thank you so much, Cynthia. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks very much.